If you haven't already guessed, this week we are going over attacks and defenses. Once again, we are using the regular D&D character sheet, the official one that's available on the website, so you can download and print off one yourself and follow along. This week we are focusing on that center column there that goes over attacks and defenses, and I'll go over anything else that's in there as well. First up, it's Armor Class. Armor Class, or AC, is basically how hard it is to hit you or actually cause damage to you once you've been hit. Your base AC is going to be 10, plus your dexterity modifier. That's without any armor whatsoever. An attack roll will need to meet or beat this number in order to successfully land a strike. You can increase this though by adding armor to your character. But in order to wear it, you need to be proficient in one of the following categories. Light armor. This will give you a starting AC of 11 to 12, and you can add your dex modifier to that. Medium armor. This will give you a base of 12 to 15, plus your dex modifier, but you have a cap of +2. Also, some of these clink and clang, and so will give you disadvantage on stealth rolls. Heavy armor. Heavy armor is a straight AC number between 14 and 18. You do not get to add your dexterity modifier because it's heavy, so you're being weighed down. There's also a minimum strength score for some of these to be able to actually wear it without being slowed down. And these armors are all very, very loud, and so they will all give you disadvantage on stealth rolls. Shield. Wielding a shield. Wielding a shield, there you go. Wielding a shield will add a straight +2 to your AC as long as you are proficient in them. Spells. Some spells, like the shield spell, will actually give you a higher AC for the duration of the spell. Cover. If your DM deems that you are in cover, then you may gain access to some of the following benefits. Half cover gives you a +2 to your AC and bonus to your dexterity saving throws. 3/4 cover is a +5 to your AC and a +5 to your dexterity saving throws. Or full cover. You cannot be targeted by spells or attacks, although if the spell encompasses an area that you happen to reside within, then you're out of luck, pal. Moving over to Initiative. Roll for Initiative. This is a straight dexterity check that determines the order of combat. So your dexterity modifier will be the number that goes in here. But don't forget any bonuses to dexterity or initiative specifically that are given to you by features, traits, or items. Over again to speed. This is how far your character can travel in one round, 6 seconds. Most characters will begin with a 30-foot movement, but this can increase due to class features such as the Barbarian or the Monk. Or decrease if you are wearing armor that is too heavy for your strength score. Moving down to hit points. This is how much of a beating your character can take before they fall unconscious and have to start making death saving throws, which we'll get to those in a sec. Your HP is determined by rolling the number of die associated with your class level. If you're a level 3 Barbarian, then you get 3d12. If you multi-class with 2 levels of Barbarian and 1 level of Bard, to make a Barbarian, which happens to be one of my favorites, then your HP would be 2d12 and 1d8. 2 for Barbarian, 1 for Bard. You then add your Constitution modifier for every level that you are. These two together will give you your total HP. Our level 3 Barbarian has 24 HP from the rolled dice. But they have a Constitution modifier of +3, so we add 3 lots of 3 to the 24, giving us a total HP of 33. Also, if your Constitution modifier increases through the game, it acts retroactively, so you get to add the difference for every level. Down again to temporary HP. Exactly what it says on the tin. Spells and other effects may afford you temporary HP. Think of this as a barrier in front of your regular HP. Your temporary HP is always reduced to 0 first before reducing your regular HP. And you do not regain these back, they're temporary, unless the spell or effect is reactivated. Hit dice. These are how many and which type of dice you rolled for your HP. So our barbarian has 3d12 hit dice. You can spend these dice on a short rest of an hour or more in order to regain HP for your dice rolls plus your constitution modifier. But you can only regain a maximum of half of your total hit die on a long rest, so bear that in mind when you're using them. Death saves! When your character, not if, when, is reduced to 0 HP, you will need to use your turns to roll death saving throws. This is a straight d20 roll with no modifiers attached to it, where 1 through 9 counts as a failure, and 10 through 20 counts as and 10 through 20 counts as a success. That was really hard to say. Counts as a success. I can do it now. If you roll 3 successes, then you are stable. It means that you are no longer dying, but you are still unconscious. If you roll a natural 20, then you pop up with 1 HP at the start of your turn, so you get to actively take your turn. But if you get 3 failures first, your character croaks, bites the dust, kicks the bucket, meets their maker, pops their clogs. Yes, that's a real idiom, and yes, you can Google it. Everyone's favorite, attacks and spellcasting. Melee attack bonuses will depend on the weapon that you are wielding. We covered that in the stats video, which I'll link at the end, so stick around. And whether you're proficient in that weapon. If you are, then you'll add the stat that's linked to the weapon that you're using, either dexterity or strength, and your proficiency bonus. These two numbers put together and added to your d20 roll will make your attack roll. Our barbarian in question has a strength score of 18, giving him a +4, and a proficiency bonus of +2. So when they attack, they'll add 6 to their d20 roll to get their attack roll. When listing the weapon attack in this box, you'll also add your weapon stat, strength or dexterity, depending on the weapon, to your damage roll as well. We covered damage rolls in our dice video, so we'll link that one at the end too, so definitely stick around. Twice the reason. So our barbarian will swing his great axe for 1d12 damage, but he has a strength of +4, so he'll add that to it too. Spells. Spell attacks work in the same way as weapons. Your spell attack bonus will be your casting stat. Again, we covered this in the stat video. Plus your proficiency bonus. However, spells don't always require an attack roll. Some will require your targets to perform a saving throw to nullify or reduce the effects of the spell that you're casting. The number that they have to save against is known as your spell save difficulty class, or spell save DC. To calculate this, we will take 8, plus your casting modifier, plus your proficiency bonus. Our Bardbarian, still my favorite multi-class, had 1 level in Bard and a charisma of +3 and a proficiency of +2. When we get both of these together, we get +5, and then we add that to our initial 8, and we get 13. So the spell save would be 13. Enemies would need to meet or beat that number using the saving throw that's listed in your spell. Do you prefer melee attackers or spellcasters? Let us know in the comments while I go over equipment. So right at the bottom is equipment. This will be a general list of equipment on your character's person. And yes, that does include any weapons, armor, and items that they're currently using. The amount of weight that a character can carry is 5 times your strength score, not the modifier, the actual score, in pounds. So our level 3 barbarian with a strength score of 18 can multiply that by 5 to get a carrying weight of 90 pounds. They'll never know how long that took me. If you carry more than your total carry weight, you'll be considered encumbered, and your walking speed will decrease by 10 feet. If you really push it and you go 10 times over your total carry weight, you will be heavily encumbered. Your walking speed will decrease by 20 feet, and you'll have disadvantage on all ability checks, attacks, and saving throws that use strength, dexterity, and constitution. Although most DMs don't actually worry about encumbrance, but it is always helpful to know. So, here are the 2 videos that I promised I would leave links to. Click on the ones that you haven't seen and get more information. And if there's something that you would really like to see and explain a video about, please go ahead and let us know.